Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Oz.
What do you got for us this week?
This week, we've got Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, crossed with Young Guns, plus a whole lot of, we got a great big convoy, rocking through the night, we got a great big convoy, ain't she a beautiful sight, convoy. This week's movie is Maximum Overdrive.
That movie Marriage was better than the movie.
It was. And just as coke fueled as Maximum Overdrive. Yes.
Terminator 3.
It took me a lot of cocaine to come up with that one.
Oh man, I love it when there's a sequel makes our movie Marriage.
Yeah.
You know we're talking about just the work of an auteur.
Yes. When the reference point is the third movie.
Exactly. Skip the Cameron one.
Yeah.
Let's go straight to part 3.
Yeah, and a forgettable movie at that.
Yeah, I've not even seen it. I've only seen the first two Terminators.
I think I've seen parts of the third one. It was okay.
I've not seen all of the Terminators movie. So, welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, the weekly podcast where we take a monthly theme. This month being Stephen King movies.
Yeah!
I don't think I've ever heard you be so masculine.
I've been working at it a lot.
Yeah!
Yeah! Armpits! Yeah! I've been working on my masculinity.
Did you have that facial hair when we started the show?
No, it's when we were chatting beforehand, I was clean shaven, and I just closed my eyes and squinted and just boop.
Well, I think when you dropped
it
that,
out.
Yeah! just...
It all just came out, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
forced it out.
A lot of therapy, a lot of masculine therapy. A lot of MT.
Right, masculine therapy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm mainlining testosterone right now.
Speaking of Maine, we're talking about a Stephen King movie here.
Smooth segue. Speaking of mainline,
Stephen King, written and directed.
Yes, he did.
Maximum Overdrive.
Uh-huh. He also mainlined a lot of testosterone and a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, it's to be understood that you cannot get more overdriven than this movie.
Yes, literally and figuratively.
This is the maximum level of being overdriven.
There's no more overdrive available.
I can't
it's
pull
all
over any
here.
further.
They took it all.
Officer, he's already pulled over.
I can't pull over any further.
Oh, and this is your contribution this week.
It is.
I've got the cast.
I got a feeling this is going to be a fun week, guys.
I think so. Your cast stars Emilio Estevez as Bill Robinson, a man that you're not going to danger Bill Robinson. That would have been a fun little addition there, but we didn't get that. Bill Robinson plays your former prisoner / fry cook at a truck stop.
Uh-huh. That one just rolls off the tongue.
It's all working out for him. Mm-hmm. We got Pat Hingle as Bubba.
Oh boy, do we?
Yeah,
we got Pat Hingle here.
The Pat Hingle of this movie is the what's his name of Christine last week.
Yes.
You're the golden key to the crapper.
You're the golden key to the crapper.
So, Pat Hingle as Bubba Hendershot. We got Laura Harrington as Brett Graham. As SNL's Pat. Like, what an androgynous name, Brett Graham.
Brett Graham.
Are you like Brett Butler? I guess is the only other female Brett I know of.
Mm-hmm. Also, former Dodgers and Giants center fielder Brett Butler.
That's true. Same person.
Yep. She had her own sitcom in the 90s, and she played center field on the West Coast in the 80s.
Yep. It happens. So, Lisa Simpson herself, Yeardley Smith, as Connie, and her husband, John Short, as you, Curtis.
As me.
As you. And then really just a bunch of others. You got easily my favorite character, Wanda June, played by Ellen McElduff.
Oh, she acted the butt off that role.
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to retire after this one, and I'm leaving it all on the field.
Made you!
We got a surprise appearance by Frankie.
Acting, by the way, folks, acting is all in the shoulders.
Right.
This is what sells acting.
She moves those shoulders like you're going to hear like a... We got Frankie Faison as Handy the trucker, and the one responsible for introducing our main, I guess, villain to the movie.
Sure, why not?
And then we just get a bunch of others. We got a Brad, we got a couple of Kellers, we get a Joey and an Andy. We got Giancarlo Esposito as video player.
Another 80s Blink and You'll Miss It role, as he was also a Blink and You Miss It in Trading Places.
Yes, he was. Months ago. And then just to round it off, we get a nice Marla Maples.
Yep.
As second woman, we get Stephen King himself, which is pretty awesome. That he's like, look, I wrote this book, I wrote this screenplay, I'm directing this. You bet I'm going to have the first lines in the movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then AC/DC, because this, like we mentioned last week, this is really just an AC/DC music video.
It is. It's a 90-minute AC/DC video.
Yeah.
That's all it
is. Emilio Estevez is doing dirty deeds, and they're done dirt cheap.
Well, yeah, very cheap.
Very cheap.
Low cost deeds.
And
which was actually the original name of the song, Low Cost Deeds.
Right. Yeah, cheap work. That just didn't roll off the tongue the way dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
No.
So, and that's it. That's your cast list.
That's our cast. Another Dino De Laurentiis movie here.
I know. That is not in my 3-2-1s, although I was excited to see it.
Yes.
What does this movie start with, Curtis?
This movie starts with one of our favorite things, Oz. I'm so excited to share this with you.
Too.
It starts with on-screen text.
Yeah.
Oh, one of our favorites.
I love exposition before my exposition.
Yeah. Masculine
exposition.
Yes, on June 19th, 1987 at 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Earth passed into the extraordinarily diffuse tail of Rhea M, a rogue comet. According to astronomical calculations, the planet would remain in the tail of the comet for the next 8 days, 5 hours, 29 minutes, and 23 seconds.
Such a waste of type. Like just the amount of detail. I mean, it's like there's obviously no thought given to it. It's just random numbers pop up there. But just
again, this whole movie was just a cocaine-fueled fever dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
Stephen King probably just fell asleep on the keyboard, and this is what came out.
Right. He wouldn't remember it if that's even what he did. So.
So this movie is set in and was shot in Wilmington, North Carolina, so not Maine. This movie is clearly Southern, has a very Southern appeal to it.
Really what that means is Stephen King did something while he was on vacation in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Probably. He went down to see Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers took off.
Well, he was trying to save his coke dealer some time, and he just met him at the hookup.
Everybody knows the best cocaine comes out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
At the Dixie Boy.
Is this also where Dawson's Creek was set?
Probably.
A lot of similarities.
A coke-fueled show.
Also a lot of cocaine in Dawson.
Lots of cocaine.
Yeah. That crying meme of James Vanderbeek as Dawson.
Josh Jackson doesn't do anything unless there's cocaine.
No. It's in his contract writer.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Joshua Jackson.
Right. And by the way, the Joshua Jackson, any personalities referenced to or resembling anyone is purely coincidental.
Specifically Joshua Jackson.
Right. That we just want to throw that out there because we don't want Joshua Jackson and his legal team chasing us down.
No, I don't need that rap.
Emptying our Patreon coffers.
No, we don't need that from Pacey.
Right. Well, we probably should give it a throw out to our Patreon subscribers before you get rolling too far into the plot.
Yes. Speaking of.
Yeah, so thank you for your continued patronage, Don S., Aaron A., and Mandy K. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Wilmington, North Carolina. The bank says 9:48 a.m. Oz, and this is 1 minute after the opening text there, so you know bad things are about to happen. We're in the thick of it. The bank's electronic marquee says F word you.
to Stephen King.
Yes, and the ATM that Stephen King is at says you are in hole.
Yeah.
Because this machinery knows what American curse words are.
Mm-hmm. And they speak English.
Yep.
So I like how he then turns to his wife and he like tattles on the ATM. This machine just called me an a-hole.
We cut the two bridge operators playing cards. One is picking his nose as the bridge rises behind him. There's not a lot of subtleties in this movie, Oz.
No.
Cars are sliding all around. Very fun sequence. So it's an old-fashioned drawbridge in the middle. Yeah, and there's cars going around everywhere. People are being ejected through their windshields. Motorcyclist goes through
with like roller coaster force.
It's the Screaming Eagle from last week, 2 weeks ago.
Everybody is parked on this bridge as it's rising, by the way, and everybody's like terminal velocity, including all of the watermelons in that truck.
All the watermelons in North Carolina fall out of a truck and crush Marla Maples. That's right.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump's second wife.
Yeah.
Second of three. Crushes Marla Maples. Poor Marla.
Yeah. Well, Wilmington, North Carolina is the watermelon capital of North Carolina.
of East Coast North Carolina.
Right. Watermelon capital of Eastern North Carolina.
Of Southeastern North Carolina.
All 52 watermelon you saw in this wreck that was the crop.
Yeah. So, it took them years to replenish.
Wilmington, North Carolina is the watermelon capital of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Those are the most dehydrated people in America.
Right. What are they going to do?
The Green Goblin mobiles, which is literally a gigantic truck pulling a Happy Toys trailer, semi-truck, with a big Green Goblin head on the front. I wonder if they had to get clearance from Marvel to do that.
I was thinking of that earlier today when I was thinking about coming on the show. I'm like, I wonder if they had to ask Marvel or Marvel just paid to be part of the movie.
I don't know. Stephen King just shared some of his cocaine.
We'll never know. It's actually probably Stephen King's personal semi.
It could be. So this truck pulls into the Dixietown truck stop, Oz. Bubba, played by Pat Hingle, and his cook Bill, Emilio Estevez, he calls him into his office. Bubba tells Bill that because you're on parole, I'm gonna pay you 8 hours worth of work for 9 hours, and then gives him an evil Southern laugh.
Yeah, because they're in North Carolina.
Yeah. Giancarlo Esposito is in an arcade there. The machine starts acting up, so of course, because he's a young black man, has to tell the machine's yo mama.
Yep.
That'll tell him.
This movie feels like it was made in the 80s.
Was it?
I don't know.
1880s. So the machines are going crazy. The coffee maker shooting cups of coffee everywhere, cigarettes everywhere, and a video game electrocutes poor Giancarlo Esposito.
And we know that because he goes,
yeah.
Shake your cheek, Giancarlo.
Yeah, some great cheek shaking action. The gas pump outside shoots diesel in the eyes of an attendant filling up the truck. Inside, the server, it's not Bobby Joe, but I keep thinking Bobby Joe from Evil Dead 2.
Yeah,
basically same character. The server is working the skillet for Bill while he's in the back with Bubba. Gets her arm cut because one of those electric carving knives turns on. It turned itself on and bit me.
Jumped right off the counter and bit me. That probably would hurt.
Yeah, I would imagine being cut in the arm by an electric knife.
And I love the shrieking string horror music playing when this thing attacks her. It's like, did Jaws just attack? No, it didn't. That GE kitchen knife did.
Yep. We cut to a Little League game because this movie is so well paced, Oz.
Yeah.
A player slides into home plate in slow motion because that's what this movie needed at this moment. That's what the story this movie needed to tell, was this random Little League game and a player sliding into home in slow motion.
Just wanted everyone to know he was safe.
Yep. So he scores the winning run and the team wins, whatever. Coach says, I'm buying sodas.
What is it with people in this movie that tend to put their face right in the line of sight when something's not working. The guy that was pumping the diesel did the same thing.
Yeah, literally just holds the thing up to his face, and he's like sticking his finger in it, like as it's pointed right in his face.
Right, and then of course it shoots diesel right into his face.
I mean, you're trying to unclog it. I mean, best case scenario, it only shoots a little bit in your face.
Right.
I mean, because that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to unclog it.
Yeah, you just wanted to check.
The only way I can see it is if my face is directly above the thing.
It's not my fault I'm farsighted. Nearsighted. I don't ever remember the two.
Something sighted.
Yeah. It's not my fault I'm sighted.
Sighted. It's a good thing I'm sighted. We don't discriminate here, folks. Nearsighted, farsighted. We just, you're sighted. The coach says, I'm buying sodas, goes over to the machine, and the machine fires a can of soda out, hits the guy right in the junk.
Yeah, it's the old Randy Johnson soda machine.
we get the old, like, cross eyes, like, oh!
Right. And then it eventually swells up, because when he got pelted in the forehead at the beginning, it was fine. And then moments later when he's laying there, he's just like this crater. It
shoots him in the head, and it leaves a dent.
Yeah.
It leaves a soda can dent in his head.
Yeah.
It caved in his skull.
Yeah. It was impressive.
It's like Kerry Wood throwing RC colas out of that thing.
The Aroldis Chapman Diet Coke.
Aroldis Chapman. Four-seam fastball coming out of there.
Here it comes.
Nolan Ryan. So he's dead. I mean, that's this movie, folks.
Yeah.
Like, so he's dead. Next, yep. A kid, of course, uses a catcher's mask to protect himself because this thing could dent a human skull, but not leave even a scratch on a catcher's mask,
and definitely not hurt your hand that is holding said mask to your face.
Yeah. Good thing it only hit the square inch that his fingers weren't on.
Good thinking, Deke.
Yep. So yes, Deke, the aforementioned Deke. He's there fending off soda cans while a friend gets flattened by a steamroller out in right field.
I love it. This steamroller just comes like sneaking up behind right field fence and it just burrows through the fence. The kid then gets like ejected from his bike and then just lays there as this it's like almost reminiscent of that scene from one of the Austin Powers movies where he's laying there.
No!
He has every opportunity to get up and run and just lays there. But we do see this young man like hit head on by this. So it was equal parts Ace Ventura, equal parts Austin Powers.
Laces out.
It was equal parts Austin Powers and Toxic Avenger.
Oh, Toxie. Meanwhile, a terrible mustachioed man puts his hand on the leg of a female hitchhiker in his car.
Yeah, this guy was creepy.
Yeah, he was. I didn't remember what his name was. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Bible salesman.
He's creepy Bible salesman. Yeah. Brett, the aforementioned Brett Butler.
Yeah.
is in the car. And the radio is on. Of course, he has his creepy hand on her leg. The radio says, if you're on a major highway, get away at once. And so she's listening, grabs the wheel, and like turns them into a truck stop. Of course, he berates her for being immoral. And as he gets out the Goblin truck, tries to drive him over. But he's pulled to safety. And there was nobody driving the car. Frankie Faison still had the keys.
Yeah. Something's afoot.
Something is afoot at the Circle K.
That's right.
Newlyweds, Curtis and Connie Shrive, and of course they're still decked out in their wedding gear, just married in the car, and very sweaty.
They're not. I don't even think they know where they're going.
No, they don't.
They're just. We got married, Curtis.
Everyone in this movie is so sweaty.
They are. It's a balmy day in North Carolina.
I mean, North Carolina gets hot. Don't get me wrong, but everyone is just greasy. It's sweaty.
Well, it's comet heat.
It's the comet.
It's comet.
It's a damp comet.
Right.
They come across a dead man in a mechanic shop, flies buzzing, and we get, again, Connie is played by Lisa Simpson herself, Yeardley Smith. Curtis, is he dead? Curtis, I don't like this.
Very whiny.
Yes. Another rig drives itself at Curtis, and he dodges it just barely. Curtis, are you dead?
Yeah.
God. Quick story. Growing up, I had some friends that lived down the street, and they were, they're the I think, this is gonna sound judgy. I don't mean it that way, but like these kids were my age. These boys were about my age, and they were watching, R-rated stuff. I'm talking like 3rd, 4th grade, and
got it.
And like
they
I
would,
was. Yes. You lived down my street. You and like, and again, and I say that because I was naive. Like I didn't know any of this.
Right.
And they had watched this movie, and I had no idea what this movie was or what they were referencing. And then one day they just started calling at me, Curtis, are you dead? And I'm like, no, I'm very much alive. Thank you.
I'm right here, guys.
Thank you. No. I am not dead. I have not passed into the realm.
Of all the things in this movie, I can almost see like a 3rd or 4th grader's eyes light up like, we know someone named Curtis.
Yeah. It's not a name you hear a whole lot.
Yeah, and this movie is not quotable.
Back at the truck stop, Brett and Bill awkwardly, as I put in my notes, awkwardly for us, the audience, flirt with each other.
Yeah, it is pretty awkward.
It's no good. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And then we immediately cut back to Deke, the baseball kid. This movie really weaves a tale, by the way.
Right, yeah.
Deke, the baseball kid, is riding his bike through the neighborhood, sees dead bodies everywhere, Oz.
Not phased.
No, everywhere, and he's just kind of more bewildered than anything else.
Now, go ahead. I'll let you finish before I ask my question.
And the radio warns that machines are killing people around the world. Deke hears the ice cream truck coming. He hides from it, and then is chased by a push lawnmower. So what's on your mind, Oz?
All right, so I got a couple here from this scene alone. What constitutes a machine?
That's a great question.
Because I think of it as something like everything that seemed to react thus far in the movie had some sort of computer component, battery, engine, something like that. I couldn't make heads or tails as to why the sprinklers kept turning on and off. I don't see sprinklers as a machine. And my second question, I forgot. Oh yeah, my second question, I remember now. If nobody is pushing that push lawnmower, how does it regulate its speed? Like, I feel like a push mower can go as fast as the person pushing it.
That was a Cub Cadet, Oz.
when Lawn Boy was chasing Deke.
Lawn Boy.
When it was chasing Deke, it was going at the pace of someone who was push mowing. I'm like, there's nothing holding you back, man. Just go. It could have ran Deke down with no problem.
Yeah,
it didn't.
That's all it knows.
The sprinklers that were messing with Deke as they would all turn on while he was riding by and then turn off when he turned to look like that. I'm like, but these are sprinklers.
Yeah, there's no chips, there's no motors in that.
Right. And therefore, if sprinklers are going to do this, then shouldn't bikes also technically be considered a machine then?
You're an idiot, Oz. You don't get this movie.
I will admit, I did not research the constitution of machinery.
You don't understand physics and engineering like me.
I thought you said you were a Stephen King fan.
I just think of Tim Meadows and Dewey Cox.
Right.
You guys just don't get it.
No, so those are my two questions. Was
valid questions.
Are sprinklers a machine?
Sure, for the sake of the comet, they are.
Yeah.
Back at the truck stop, Duncan, the mechanic with the diesel in his eye, is worried about his son Deke. Oh my goodness, he's Deke's father.
The same Deke? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're 45 minutes in the movie and now this matters.
Well, fair enough.
Bubba threatens to fire Duncan, the guy with diesel in his eyes, if he leaves to go look for his son.
All right.
Yeah. Duncan goes outside and then is mowed down by a semi. There's blood all over the grill and everywhere.
Stephen King took a lot of pride in making sure we saw machine-man collision in this movie.
Yes, we did.
This is the second one I can think of. The first being the bulldozer over the kid, where, like, you saw impact.
Yeah. The goblin truck then backs into the Bible salesman, knocking him out of his shoes, and runs over his briefcase marked Holy Bible. Who said that this movie doesn't have social commentary, Oz?
Yeah, it's deep. Layers deep.
Take that, Christianity!
It's like a dip. That's how deep it is. 7 layers.
It's like a taco dip.
This movie's deep like a taco dip.
It's got beans, cheese, guac, sour cream, meat, more beans.
This movie's got the depth of it like a trifle. The whipped cream, chocolate, and graham crackers. It's deep.
Oh, at this point, all the vehicles activate and are now circling the Dixie truck stop. They're just going around and around.
And this would have been the perfect time to just end the movie.
Yeah,
because it did pretty much end the plot.
Yes, what little plot there was is gone here,
and it ended the fun. This movie, like, despite everything still in motion, it come to a grinding halt.
Yes, Curtis and Connie they're back on the road with them, almost get run into by a big rig. And Curtis, of course, turns to Connie. I just loaded my pants.
This is after earlier he asked if he could watch her pee.
Yeah.
Curtis, I gotta go to the bathroom. Can I watch?
I mean, this being one of the few Curtises in cinema, I learned a lot from this guy.
And how long will it be before you get fired for just following women into the bathroom?
Well, I just loaded my pants.
It's okay. I loaded my pants. I need to be in here too, so I'll just watch you pee while I'm here.
I learned a lot from this guy. There's not a lot of Curtises for me to look up to.
How to be a good husband.
We Curtises got to stick together. It rams them from behind and then slips off the road and it explodes, because that's what vehicles do in these movies. They they hit a ditch and then they just explode into a fiery inferno.
Yeah, well, the safety standards of the 80s vehicles were not quite at the part that they are now. That's why you didn't see smart cars in the 80s.
Because they would just burst into flames.
Just called them micro machines.
They see a sign for a truck stop. Curtis decides to shoot right through the trucks to the cafe.
He shot the gap.
They're clipped and flipped as they try to. Fortunately, Brett and Bill free them. Bubba and Joey then emerge and shoot an RPG at one of the trucks.
Yeah, because Bubba has an entire arsenal of weapons.
Yes, he does.
Which are not machines.
Yeah. Clearly not machines.
They're not machines.
It's not like that. Those high-tech machines, yard sprinklers.
Exactly. They're not as sophisticated a machinery as a sprinkler.
Was it one of those, like, sprinklers, or one of, like, the...
They were the rainbow sprinklers.
Okay. Those aren't as high-tech.
No, they're not.
There's not as much RAM, not as much... There's not
much
as many
larger motherboard
silicone
on
chips in there.
Right, yeah. But, yeah, all this arsenal of weaponry, no, these are...
No.
I'm sure they had no serial numbers, so they're not machines.
It's not like the gun on the vehicle that we'll see in a few minutes. Which
that
clearly
was different. That was on
AI driven, yeah.
Right, there we go. That's the ChatGPT minigun.
Yeah. This movie was ahead of its time.
Brought to you by OpenAI.
Brett says that she was hitchhiking to Florida before every machine in the world went into. I'll save it for later, Oz.
Yeah.
Ride of the Valkyries plays, because why not? As Deke hides in the tall grass from a crop duster near a sign for the truck stop. Bill asks
Deke's
Joey.
Resourceful.
Yeah, he is. He's clearly the smartest character in this movie.
By far. So what does he do? Like any smart character does. He goes and fights the dumb characters.
Again, Ride of the Valkyries is played. Bill asks Joey about Bubba's arsenal as he's looking over the stall at Joey while he's pooping, because that's one way to get answers out of somebody. Do you mind not looking at me while I poop? I'll tell you whatever you want. Just stop making eye contact.
Claire McCollin, Bill.
So Bill and Brett go down to check out the arsenal, and Bubba confronts them. Deke arrives at the truck stop, sees the truck circling, and crawls into a culvert drain. Cut to Brett and Bill playing footsie in bed because they're now post-coital.
Well, it's the end of the world as we know it,
and they feel fine.
Yeah,
Brett,
dirty too.
Very sweaty.
Yeah,
very sweaty, very greasy.
It's a clammy comet.
Clammy. It's you lick your palms.
That's right.
Brett tells Bill, "I'll tell you one thing: you sure make love like a hero."
Oh, Brett. Such a way with words.
I know, right? What a poet.
You make love like a hero. Like a large sandwich?
Yeah, like a gyro. Complete with cucumber sauce.
That's right, yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks.
So stupid. Brett verbally speculates it's the comet that's doing all this. It's got to be the comet. As we cut to a wide shot of green haze above the truck stop.
Because the Aurora Borealis has worked its way down to North Carolina.
In Wilmington, North Carolina. Look, kids, it's the Northern Lights.
It's the Northern Lights capital in North Carolina.
Yeah, everybody knows you can see the Aurora Borealis best in Wilmington, North Carolina.
On a clear night.
Yeah. Bill tells Brett he wants to sail with her to an island called Haven, where no motor vehicles are allowed. Brett says, Brett says, "You're not just a hero, you're a genius." I take it back. Bill is clearly the smartest character in this movie.
Yeah, I promise I will never die. Like, he's giving those vibes. Right?
Yeah.
I just want to sail with you to this island called Haven. We're not like, you are a felon fry cook. How on earth do you know about this island? Did you read about it in the Clink? Like, come on. Oh, I love it. It's so stupid.
Oh, let's see. Wanda June goes outside to yell at the vehicles. "You can't! We made you!"
Oh, I wonder if AC/DC sang a song called that.
I wonder. We'll see if anything happens later in the movie. Brett says, "Maybe tomorrow it'll be our world again," and then Bill waxes philosophical. Was it ever? Deep like that taco dip.
Exactly. Mongol question, pawn in life.
Has to do with where choo-choo go. The group then hears the Bible salesman screaming, "He's still alive, Oz," despite being knocked out of his shoes. Bill and Curtis go, despite Connie's pleas. They run to some like a shower house and crawl into a sewer drain. Meanwhile, Deke emerges by the Bible salesman, who gives us a jump scare. The man screams at Deke, "Get me out of this ditch, or by Jesus, I'll kill you."
Spoken like a true Christian.
Yeah. Bill and Curtis save Deke, but not the salesman, as they escape from a truck by diving back into the culvert. They get back to the truck stop. Bill shoots a truck with an RPG, and you hear the truck scream, because why not? Bubba unsympathetically tells Deke that his father's dead. And Oz...
well, boy. Yeah. I mean, it was, like you said, with no emotion. Like, it was purely unsympathetic. Like,
yeah. Well, boy, your dad's dead.
Yeah. You bit it.
I don't know if you noticed this or not, Oz, but we cut back outside and we see another milk tanker oozing milk.
I wonder if it was the same one that got Chris walking.
It's trying to get Bill, too.
Oh, no.
That same milk truck.
First Johnny, then Bill.
Only goes after people with bland names.
This milk truck is responsible for all the deaths in Hollywood in the 80s.
It was Stephen King's go-to plot device. Milk
Illuminati.
The next day, as we see a military vehicle with a machine gun drive into the truck stop, followed by a bulldozer. Deke sees them and wakes up Bill and the naked Brett.
Yeah. It's hot.
It's so sweaty. It's that comet heat.
Comet heat.
It's a humid heat. After the bulldozer shoves Bubba's car into the truck stop, he shoots it with an RPG, and the machine gun opens fire, killing Bubba and several incredibly filthy, dirty men. I mean, literally.
Oh, yeah.
Literally filthy, dirty men.
It's like they just crawled out of the coal mine for this.
Yeah. Yellow hats on and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get off the oil rig.
Nothing's fishy out there.
My first stop will be right here at this truck stop.
In Wilmington,
North Carolina. Everybody knows they got the best grits here.
Love me a Dixie Boy burger. That Bill Robinson.
He sure can't cook. Wanda June grabs a bazooka, runs outside, and we get another "We made you!" And then she is then mowed down. I swear they used every squib in Hollywood on her.
Wanda June, she volunteered for it.
Yeah, she did. Oh yeah, every squib goes off.
Yeah, they're
every
all
single
there.
Squib. Yes. And she lets an RPG loose into a Miller truck. The horn then honks Morse code, which Deke interprets because Deke is
immediately interprets. Like,
the
that's Morse code. Like, I got a badge in that.
Yeah.
Because he's a Weebelo.
And horn honked Morse code.
He's got his Weebelo badge.
The trucks want someone to fuel them, and they turn the power back on. Bill goes out to fuel them, assumes they won't kill him. They need us, right? We got a job to do. We then get some great lines. Bill, I'm going to go turn on the pumps. I hope none of them left home without their American Express cards.
Wink! Yeah. I'm like, boy, that was a mouthful of a line that fell on dead ears.
Bill walks up to the Goblin truck and starts talking with it like they're old pals. I'm gonna have to do some paraphrasing here. All right, you something. Tell all your friends to line up. I got the best something on the East Coast. You got that blank face?
Oh, he's just like mean talking horse.
Yeah,
like I'm waiting for him to go, whoa, calm down, whoa.
Hell's bells. Like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was like, and then he and Brett go out and pump gas. We already know it's hot, but they're just literally standing there pumping gas on like sweaty bullets.
We get this huge montage of them all just pumping gas.
Yeah, that's the montage.
What feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's of just pumping gas.
So yes, Hell's Bells is playing as several of them go out and take turns. Curtis has his backwards hat on because he's a cool guy now. Bill tells the trucks they've run out of fuel, so they all start honking. Bill yells at them, and a tanker then pulls up to restock the fuel. Bill tells Bill that aliens sent the comet to act like a broom. They're interstellar house cleaners. I tell you, Bill and Brett are just ahead of all of this, Oz.
Yeah, and Deke as well. Like, those three, they should just ditch them, go off, start a family.
Mm-hmm. They've got this comet and their alien overlords surrounded.
Yeah.
Surrounded with smarts. Bill then goes outside and blows up the machine gun with a grenade. As night falls, they all escape out of the same culvert drain that Deke came in on. As they do so, they watch the trucks just barrel into the truck stop, Oz.
Yeah.
Whole place comes down. We watch the bulldozer run over a car just like in Christine.
Yes.
The truck stop then explodes. The whole thing goes up.
Just like in Christine.
Just like in Christine. They pass
I wonder if
the sign.
Stephen King had seen that movie.
Probably not. Just a fever dream.
Right. Sentient vehicles? I love that idea. You already wrote that book, Steve.
Well, this one's got trucks, not a car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is trucks. Like a milk truck. You ever seen a milk truck?
Yeah, you did in that other
book,
movie.
Steve.
God darn it! The group on foot passes a sign stating that they're a mile from the marina, so they're going with Bill's plan, Oz. They're going to go to Haven, where they don't allow the machines.
Oh, my.
The Goblin truck drives by, too. Let's see. The ice cream truck comes up. Curtis and Brett shoot it. It explodes. As they load onto a sailboat, one of the other filthy men sees a dead woman with her hand out the window. I think it's Marla Maples, actually, with a big old diamond ring. And then we get that chirp, chirp, chirp sound effect as the Goblin Mobile runs them over. Bill shoots.
He doesn't handle thievery.
No, he doesn't. He's got a strong moral compass.
Real strong.
Yeah. So Bill blows it up with an RPG. They get on the boat, and then we get some post-text. Not only do we get pre-text, we get post-text. Two days after, a large UFO was destroyed in space by a Russian weather satellite, which happened to be equipped with a laser cannon and Class 4 nuclear missiles. Approximately 6 days later, the Earth passed beyond the tail of Rhea M, exactly as predicted. The survivors of the Dixie Boy are still survivors.
Yeah, they are.
We then go to credits as You Shook Me All Night Long plays.
Yeah. Winners win.
Don't do drugs.
That's right.
Thanks,
fun
Nancy Reagan.
Winning is fun.
83. And that, folks, is 1986's Stephen King written and directed Maximum Overdrive. What a film, Oz.
Yeah, it was a film.
That it was. All right, hey, folks, at this point in the show, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film in question, in this case, Maximum Overdrive. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
Oh, my. I'm going to give this... I'm going to give it a 18-wheeler.
18, that works.
I don't know.
An 18-wheeler.
I was trying to go like, should I give it a Who Made You? We Made Two. I don't know. But no, I'm going an 18-wheeler.
That works perfectly.
What do you got?
I'm going to give it 37. Curtis, are you dead?
Are you dead?
Are you dead? Yeah, so...
Yeah.
That works. Hey, next up, folks, we've got Outside Insight. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well. Hey, Oz, what's your Outside Insight?
I have a 5-star review left on Letterboxd in May by Max Bird. All one word, Max Bird.
Max Bird.
There's not a single capital letter in this writing. My heart breaks that Stephen King never continued on as a director because, hey man, the guy is an auteur.
Auteur.
This ruled. The soundtrack, the dialogue, the shots of the trucks. Anyone who thinks trucks suddenly becoming sentient wouldn't be absolutely terrifying is on something for sure, and I cannot help them. Interesting, too, that this allows for a story where technology is the killer, but takes place somewhere very rural. It is kind of wild that the two romantic leads in a movie like this have zero screen presence, but with such a stacked cast otherwise, it suddenly balances out. Also, very kind of them to name this movie after me a decade before I was even born. It was really kind of them. 5 stars.
Yeah, good for them.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing this stacked cast carried the load.
Stacked cast, acting at its finest in this movie.
The shots of the trucks ruled.
Several reviews I came across were very similar in that vein.
Well, low-hanging fruit. They can't all be deeks.
Can't all be geniuses like Deke.
That's true. They all can't make love like heroes. All right, what's your outside insight?
Oh, I think I'm going to throw a couple out here, Oz. Here's a 10 out of 10 from the Internet Movie Database from November 2017 by Bruce Guitarist. I don't review Bridget Jones's Diary. It's not my thing, so I just leave it alone. If 80s cheese with ridiculous special effects and killer rock music is not your thing, walk away. Put the sound up and see some kick-butt trucks.
I'd like to think he actually said kick butt.
Yeah, it wasn't butt. I'm paraphrasing just a bit. Here's another one from Majid Hamad from February 2010. This is also a 10 out of 10 on IMDb. Well, I just don't believe it. People are giving higher stars for stupid sci-fi movies such as Dark Knight, The Matrix trilogy, Blade Runner, and blah, blah, blah. Let's get straight to the point. Is Maximum Overdrive good or not? In my opinion, of course, it is not the best, not a classic either, but it is a good movie to enjoy. I used to be a fan of Stephen King, so I really think this movie should be given at least 6 stars or higher. 10 stars.
I used to be a fan of the guy.
I used to be a fan.
Yeah. Way back.
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna do. Let's see. I'm gonna throw 2 more out there.
All right.
Here's Aldo 911 from April of 1999. 10 out of 10. I first saw this film when it first came out on video, probably 1987. I thought it was a good movie. I recently revisited because of my crush on Yeardley Smith. The movie is one of Stephen King's best.
Well, he's not wrong. This is one of Stephen King's best directed movies.
Yes, by definition. The crush on Yeardley Smith is what
I know,
sticks with me there.
Well, that's a new one. Good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone likes her voice. I don't know.
Maybe the guy loves Simpsons, obviously.
One more. This is a 1 out of 10.
Oh.
This is from Peter Williamson from July 2007. Maximum Overdrive is no doubt the worst movie I've ever seen. All caps. This movie is a not-see. There are millions of movies that are 20 times better than this. Emilio Estevez would be looking back at it and crying. This is the worst movie in all eternity.
Millions of movies.
Millions of movies, 20 times better.
Right.
Exactly 1 million and exactly 20 times better.
Yeah. I counted.
Emilio Estevez would be looking back and crying.
Yeah. I bet he is.
Oh yeah, a lot. I pulled a lot of outside insights for this one. There was a treasure trove. For
Yes,
this movie.
I had quite a few to choose from as well, but I really like the guy that's like, and they named it after me before I was born.
Maximum Overdrive the 4th.
Right. Max Bird, Maximum Overdrive Bird.
I come from a long line of overdrives.
Right, and I am the best.
It's an old family name going back to the hills.
Maximus Overdrive.
Hey folks, it's that point of the show you've all been waiting for. Our signature segment, the 3-2-1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 huh. And we had to narrow it down to 1 huh.
Yes.
For this movie, Oz. So hey, we're talking about Maximum Overdrive. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one is we get opening and closing text.
I know, we get a double dose of on-screen text.
Like, there's a lot of times where I watched this movie and I thought, I'd rather be reading. And this movie delivered on that.
It just does it for you. Don't have to read the Stephen King story. He put it on screen for you.
Yeah, and it starts and ends with words, so you're technically reading.
Yeah.
My second, there's a titular line.
There is a titular line. I almost spoiled it earlier and I got myself.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't, but Brett just looks out into the parking lot and goes, they've reached maximum overdrive. And I'm like, some movie, like, to be fair, most movies have titular lines somewhere. Like, Rudy. Okay, it's named after, like, they say his name.
They never say his name in the whole movie.
Right, Goonies. But it's like, I don't count those as titular lines because,
yes,
like, they fit normally. Mm-hmm. But this was... They mentioned the words Maximum Overdrive in the movie 1 time.
Yep.
And the same with Dead Zone. Like, you've reached a dead zone. Like, it's just, there's something about the delivery of a titular line that you just know it's a titular line. So that's my second one, and thank you for not spoiling it. My third good is that opening bridge scene was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Like, they really, like, I'll give Stephen King a little bit of props. The first third of the movie to maybe half of the movie, granted goofy but fun.
Yeah,
it really was a lot of fun, like watching all the different machinery like just mow down humans. Mm-hmm. Was fun to watch. And then we got to the truck stop, so so those are my 3 goods.
Mm-hmm. And those are 3 excellent good ads.
What do you got?
I'm going to go with my first one, the second-rate psycho chirp, chirp, chirp sound every time like someone was about to die.
It's like that
I love it.
The cheap alarm clock went off.
I absolutely love that sound effect that they laid in several times in the movie. My second good will be Giancarlo's being electrocuted acting. Giancarlo Esposito, great actor. You know, he plays a great villain these days in several things. Rumored to possibly be Professor X in the MCU. However, his acting of being electrocuted, subpar. Although it fun subpar.
Yes.
My last good will be I'll just go with Wanda June.
Oh yeah, I love
Wanda June and her shoulder acting. Acting is like dancing; it's all in the shoulders.
Wanda June.
Wanda June. It bit me. Well, that's my last good. Hey, Oz, what are your two bads?
Well, I alluded to it just a couple of moments ago,
Yeah.
but the first half of this movie was a lot of fun. The second half is just
It gets
boring.
dull. It gets dull. Yeah, I mean, how many minutes do we need of them like talking smack to inanimate objects and pumping gas?
Yeah, it was boring, and it was really nothing around it. It was just boring. And my second one, and this is more of like a tongue-in-cheek bad. The group of stressed out characters was just more comedic than it was empathetic. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't feel for anybody in this movie, even though they didn't do anything to deserve what was happening to them. They were so bad at what they do that it was just fun. Like, you didn't like, oh, I hope they can escape. I didn't care. I didn't care.
Who cares?
Yeah, I just didn't care. And so I guess, I don't know if that was the goal, was to make you feel for these characters and hope that they survive, but it didn't work.
cares?
So that's my second bad, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe Deke. You kind of want you root for Deke, but the others, whatever.
Yeah, just as a kid and the only one using his head. So
Yeah.
for sure. So what are your two bads?
My two bads. I'm going to start with. It's a lot of movies like this. You know, like the more southern the character is, like the badder the bad guy he is.
Yeah.
And we could really get into some real legit like psychosocial commentary if we really wanted to here. But like, you know, the southern man is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like it really does kind of feed into some stereotypes here, and just come on, like
Right.
you know, like the deeper the drawl, the better the man. Like
yeah,
you don't have to do that. Like
Boss
no.
Hog and
Yeah.
you know, whatever the guy that owns Porky's.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to like the drawl equals like a lack of intelligence, which again plays
Right.
out in society and politics today, and yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's my first bad, and my other bad is Laura Harrington as Brett.
Yeah.
Just not a good actor.
No,
and
she's the. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just gonna tack on the relationship building between the two of them. No, thank you.
The vibes that she was giving me with the Brett character was a lot like, and I don't even remember the character's name, but like the female lead in Tremors.
Sure.
Like, it's like, okay, you're there, but you really don't serve a whole lot of a purpose, and nobody would miss you if you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brett just, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
She's just there to tell the hero, or to tell Emilio Estevez he makes love like a hero.
Right. Yeah, she's made love to a lot of heroes.
Many of them were wearing capes.
Yep.
Capes and body armor.
Or Halloween costumes at the least.
Yeah. Are you some kind of superhero? No, I just got back from Spirit Halloween.
Right. This is Comic-Con, Brett.
I don't care. You look like a hero to me.
Comic-Con Charlotte.
She just goes from Comic-Con to Comic-Con, travels the country.
She's got like a spreadsheet.
Ooh, Charlotte, North Carolina is coming up. Charlotte-Con. There's gonna be lots of heroes there.
I bet they all make love like heroes. Are you Daredevil? You make love like a hero.
I got a hydrate and carbo load before this Comic-Con.
Oh my.
So those are my bads, Oz. What do you got for your
Why didn't Curtis's car revolt?
True. Yeah.
Every other piece of automotive machinery seemed to have taken over, except Curtis's car.
Not their car. It already killed itself because of just being in the same vicinity as them.
I guess. Like, I was thinking that not only right away, because I thought maybe this is like a over time they kind of come to, but really in that scene when the truck is chasing them down the highway, and I'm like, why are you able to drive and control your car? So that's my
It was probably a foreign car.
True.
Like a Honda or a Toyota.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or from a different planet that wasn't caught in the comet. Maybe.
The comet, the cloud for the comet hadn't hit Japan yet, so it wasn't impacting Japanese-made imports.
True. It makes sense. My original was, are we to assume that all machineries are inherently evil? Because once they became sentient, they all hated man. Like, I'm envisioning somebody, thankfully they didn't show it in the movie, in like a powered wheelchair, just losing. Just that kind of scenario of like, what other kinds of machines could we have seen take on a personality? Mm-hmm. But no, the one I'm going with is, why didn't Curtis's car revolt?
That's a good one. That is good. There's not a whole lot of logic there.
What's yours?
Oh god, there's so many to pick from.
I didn't think so. I thought this movie was tight.
How much force is needed to dent the human skull with a soda can?
7.
7 forces.
Yeah. Yep.
7.
It says on the back of the can.
Yeah. 7 Up. I mean, because that was a big dent that it left in that guy's head.
It crushed his skull.
And I love the literal soda can dent like that it put in there.
Yeah, it left the divot that like the hollowed out like semicircle portion of it.
Yep.
The dome.
And it was clearly the bottom of the can because he didn't see any evidence of the tab.
Oh yeah, there was no tab there. Yeah, it purely came out straight from the bottom.
Would it matter if it was like Coke or Pepsi or like Diet or like caffeine free?
Nope, they all have the same kind of can.
Same kind of can. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, that's my for Maximum Overdrive, and that's it. That's 86's Maximum Overdrive.
We've got one more movie to cover for Stephen King month.
We do.
And we're going to just fast forward 3 short years to arguably one of the more popular Stephen King movies. We're going to cover 1989's Pet Sematary.
Yeah, the lore for this movie has come back the last couple of years.
Yeah, it really has. It's a solid film. I really like this movie. There's holes, don't get me wrong. And out of all the Stephen King movies, I probably quote this one the most. Just because I love to say things as Judd. No, not as
Judd.
Yeah, Judd Crandall.
It's Fred Gwynn.
I loved I'll bury you on.
Sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better.
Dead is better.
We do get back to Maine, I believe.
You don't want to bury a boy up there.
Not the mock burial ground.
What you put into the ground isn't what'll come out.
The ground's sour.
Sour. It's gone sour.
I could make an argument, and I'll probably forget by the time we record next week, that the Judd's the real villain in this movie.
Yeah, you could make that argument. He's the one who kind of pushes what's his face to take the action.
Yeah,
Lewis.
Yeah. Let me show you where you can bury your cat, and it'll come back to life. And then, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do the thing I just encouraged you to do.
I'll help you do it, but up here you bury your own. So
I'll go into this more next week, but the filming locations of this movie are almost entirely within 20 minutes of my spouse's family camp up near Bangor.
Nice. Yeah, because we are back in Maine. Stephen King's vacation in North Carolina is over.
He's sick of that clammy comet heat.
Right, he's been released from the tail of the comet. I think this movie holds up. I really do like this film.
It is, yeah. This movie does hold up well.
And not even Return from the Dead related, but one of these... has a character in this movie that is responsible for multiple nightmares of my youth.
Was it Zelda?
Yes. I am not Team Zelda. She still creeps me out to this day. But you get those those gifs where she's like running at the camera. Oh, nope. Shivers down my spine. Can't handle it. Yeah, well, we will be back next week to cover Pet Sematary, the original, not the remake. I haven't even seen the remake. But we're going to cover the original. And not the sequel, Pet Sematary 2, with Eddie Furlong and Clancy Brown.
Have you seen this cat?
That's a fun movie, too, though. Mary Lambert directed it. She directed the original Pet Sematary and the sequel. So, female-directed movie coming at us. So Pet Sematary for next week. Social media-wise, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X. Sure. But to access X, you still go to twitter.com. So,
that makes sense. You know,
it's X.
Why change your branding on something that clearly is known worldwide?
Well, I think he just changed it to X is because his plan is, I want this to be the social media outlet you all used to go to. It's your X.
He's been using Brand X.
Brand X. So, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. There's a link down to Patreon down below. And we appreciate this. That was episode 103. Look at that.
It was. Yeah.
We're already 3% to our next century milestone. All right, so for Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
We'll see you guys next week with Pet Sematary.